How would you define the word stillness?
I, FYI, textbook definitions are not my forte. Usually comes out a little abstract. So stillness. Okay. Physically stationary, but it's like the energy continues on. You can feel the energy, you're affected by the energy. You could be looking down at something and something about the energy captures your attention and causes you to look up.
What made you think that you couldn't tell? I mean, obviously they don't want us to know if he's the killer or the detective, but what were they putting together? What were they assembling so that you had that impression when you watched this thing?
Because there was, while he was delivering the monologue, the camera would almost like fast forward through the events and then it would backtrack. So he was in the house after this event had happened, and then it was him walking backwards outside of the house before all this stuff was happening. And so I couldn't tell if he was he was one of those people who's a brilliant detective and like can just walk into a room and just immediately can put all the pieces together before everybody else around them can, or if he was telling the story of how he killed the people. Months ago, I used to think if I just don't move and I stand still, that would be stillness. And then it turns out, no, you have to, for me, this was my journey, you have to keep your face still. And then it wasn't just the face, then I was overemphasizing the mouth. So it's like, let that go. And then the stillness, well, then still, there was a time where even the energy was too much and you were having me think back. So it's almost like, I guess, Chelsea's journey of stillness is I have to feel like I'm dropping down into myself. The more introverted I feel as an individual, it seems to be the higher percentage of stillness is achieved. I was thinking, I was like, this person to me is like a Sherlock Holmes type of person, the person who does walk into a room and can see everything that has happened and can just put it together while everybody else has no idea what's going on. And, but is someone who is just so impressed with the criminal and what they can get away with and their mind and how they work, and that it's this individual, this character thinks there's brilliancy in the crime. Last week, I don't know if you remember, I was like, I'm gonna work on this, and this.
Please
And
play.
and this week I was like, let's just do something light. I was like, pick just one word. So I have my one word, which is delightful. And then even though she's the pilot in this scenario, I'm just thinking of like when you fly, especially on Southwest Airlines, the flight attendants who that they're throwing in extra little jokes just to make things funny because nobody pays attention. So just friendly, delightful pilot. That's all.
We see.
Well, see, here's the thing. I started to watch it and then I was like, I don't think this is going to be a show for me. But I had passed this first part in the episode and I was like, this is good text. And my thought process when I was watching it, based off of the different cinematic techniques, not the actors were doing, but that the cameras were doing, I was like, I don't know if this guy is a detective. It was actually a guy. I tend to pick a lot of stuff that men do because I feel like I naturally won't try to be them because there's no way that I can be a man. So I feel like it's easier for me. But I couldn't tell if he was a detective or if he was the killer. And I just thought that was really cool. And so my brain just started spinning. And so then I decided to put my own take on it.
When you what?
When when I feel like I'm being very introverted, that seems to be when the most stillness is achieved on camera. Definitely the detective, but if you think that she's also the killer, that's okay too, because she is fascinated by it. I want people around her to think, okay, why is she getting so into this? Like, did she do this? But you don't have to be convinced of, hey, she's the killer. I wanted somebody who was driven. I felt like though when I was trying to focus on just the word driven as the personality type, I felt like it was choppy. So then I was like, well, maybe fighter is a better word. But then I really liked the watcher thing, so I wanted to continue doing some of that too because it
That
makes me feel like I'm more in control.